Eagles are the better team. I can't say it any other way.
I don't really think everybody knows what they're about to witness.
I know talent when I see one. I should be an NFL scout.
Jonathan, I don't like that pick. I love that pick.
One team that you guys all hate, the Commanders, were probably the biggest sellers of today. They trade away defensive end Montez Sweat, and they trade away defensive end Chase Young. Both were on expiring contracts, and some may say that they weren't going to come back. They were unrestricted free agents after the season. So I guess they just wanted to get something for them. And the Commanders have not had the best year, so maybe Chase Young and Sweat were leaning. Yeah, they were like leaning towards, you know what, we're going to test free agency. I want to go to a contender, something like that. So the trades that went down, Montez Sweat traded to the Bears for a 2024 second-round pick, and Chase Young traded to the 49ers for a 2024 third-round pick. Chase Young was the second overall pick and has been doing pretty well since he came back from injury. He's got 5 sacks, not terrible at all. And you're trading him for a third-round pick. Doesn't really compute in my head. But as you look at this Commanders team, John, complete sellers. You lose Sweat, you lose Young, but you potentially have a franchise quarterback. It looks like they're just stocking draft picks and doing a complete rebuild.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, they kind of know that how the team is right now, it's not going to be able to succeed. I mean, even with those two guys, I mean, Chase Young, you said 5 sacks this season. Sweat has 6.5 sacks. Even with that, they weren't really having any great games. And Caleb, you've talked about this Washington Commanders defense in the past, like, oh, you better watch out, like they can, win any game. And it still feels like the Commanders could win any game because they played the Eagles tough twice, but it's not because of their defense. They let the Eagles score 30 plus each time. So I don't think that they realize that this defense is not great. And Jared, you made a great point. Like, they're unrestricted free agents. So like they could get to the end of the year and maybe based on the talks and negotiations they've already started with these players, they're like, oh shit, we're probably not going to be able to keep these guys. So let's see what we can get for them. So Sweat, 6.5 sacks in 8 games. Chase Young has played 7 games, has 5 sacks. So they got pretty decent value for him, I guess. But, yeah, they're just selling. I mean, they're stocking up draft picks, and that's about it. I'm excited to see what Chase Young can do in San Francisco.
It's crazy.
Last year, he didn't have any sacks. The year before, when he got injured, he only had a sack and a half in like 7 or 8 games or something like that. So I want to see how he comes back because he's still coming back from that injury, really. So, but if he could play well, that 49ers defense is going to be even better.
Or at least depth for the 49ers D-line. I mean, that's what I think I say this every year, but I think what makes the Eagles so competitive outside of being a pretty well-respected and well-organized organization is having a D-line that can be really aggressive, that you can get blitzes and pressure with 4 men up front. Right. And part of that is depth. So the Saints are serious. Not that they weren't before, but this is a big boy move in my eyes that I can see a lot of teams try. But them doing that's crazy. Do you guys think was it the Bears that got the second round for Sweat?
Yeah.
Is that what? I mean, in my head, the numbers are one thing. In my head, it feels like Chase should have been valued higher. Almost like I saw memes about the Bears not negotiating hard enough.
It's like I was just telling John.
Did you guys think they got fleeced or?
I was telling John earlier. I was like, dude, that's when you like are in
Sweat
Madden.
Came first. Yeah.
No, you go on to Madden and you like pick a player and you're like, I think he might be valued at like a second round pick. And then the trade accept, the bar goes all the way up and it's like, yeah, we'll take it. And you're like, oh frick, I should have went with like a 4th. Like you send it thinking that's they're not going to take it and they take it and you're like, oh crap. So like the 49ers with Shanahan.
It seemed like that.
Dude, the thing was 49ers, they're like, we don't need him. So like you're the one that's trying to get value for him before he walks. So we'll throw you this and see if you take it. And that's probably the best offer that he could have got. And then the Bears, I guess people said that this is going to be a free agency thing. Like you get to get him to the team, and then when he goes into free agency, you have a better chance of getting Sweat. So they think,
but really, you're going to give up a second round pick for that?
Yeah, they think they can win him over.
But the thing is, you're kind of rebuilding. You need those picks. You need a second round pick. Could be like a receiver for Fields. Like,
well, Sweat's a younger slightly younger, slightly better stats, but he was the first in the news. There's a lot of moving parts for sure, but it seemed like his was first.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I feel like if I'm the Bears, I'm like, really? Like, are you serious? I think they got fleeced. I just think he's a younger dude. Maybe health is a factor, but again, like you guys are saying, I I think the Bears just they got a great player for sure, but just in comparative value, I think they're like shaking their heads like, man, we messed up, guys.
Yeah.
Exactly what you were saying, Jared, where it's like, 'cause they still want him, but not to have given up. Because like John, you're saying they could be trying, to build, and they could that pick have been used in a better spot, is what they'll be asking.
And also, like, does it even make sense? Like last season, they trade away Roquan Smith at the trade deadline. So like you were a season ago, you were just trading defensive players, and they had a cornerback. What was it Jalen Johnson or somebody requested a trade, and they didn't trade him and the trade deadline to this today. So I don't know what's going on with this team.
Yeah,
but it's a mess. It's an actual mess right now. But
49ers definitely won, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, they saw Brock Purdy lose 3 games, and they're like, "We need more defense. We need help. We need more help. Get the second overall pick. Let's go."
We can't be trailing by 8+ points in the fourth quarter anymore.
Moody can't make a goddamn kick. Put more defense in. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. It's not fair. That's what I said. I texted you guys, said it's not fair just to send a third round pick. Third round pick for the 49ers is nothing. That's going to be like pick 200.